Well, I think first, just from a philosophical perspective, EQ Bank is Canada's challenger bank. So our, vision, our mandate is actually to be as pro-consumer as possible. And open data being that it really puts the control on, back in the hands of the customer, the consumer, of how they want to share that data. Very much fits just like our overall pro-consumer mandate. And then as for the business model, as a challenger bank, our goal is to really find ways to improve Canadians' lives through better financial management, through giving them, better rates on their savings, no fee banking. And an evolution of this is going to be providing better insights to customers so that they can make better financial decisions, right? Things like being able to see, when are you charged a bank fee because you went under the $3,000 minimum balance at your big bank. Maybe in those occasions you should be banking with a no-fee bank such as ours. So open banking is really going to help unlock a lot of those sort of personal financial management tools and provide those insights. This is actually, one of my favorite topics when it comes to open banking, which I'm happy to hear it, come up more in discussions than previously. One of the sort of big things that we rely on in the sort of Canadian banking industry are things like your credit bureau. And as we know, not everyone has necessarily got a full credit, history. If you're a new Canadian, it's going to take you 3 years until you sort of build up that bureau. It also encourages you to take on debt in order to build up that credit history, right? So we're kind of telling people you have to go into debt so that we can give you more debt. People like renters, other people who actually just sort of manage themselves in the black might not have that information for us to then assess their creditworthiness. Entrepreneurs also fall into the same scenario, right? If you don't have a pay stub, it can be often difficult for you to get a mortgage, which is actually sort of Equitable Bank's sweet spot as an alternative A lender. Most of our customers are, self-employed and new Canadians. So by now, actually allowing customers to consent to, look at my financial data. I'm going to provide you access to all of my transactions across my various accounts. This is going to unlock a lot of different ways for us to assess someone's creditworthiness and hopefully be able to extend credit, to a broader group of people in a more, in a very sort of safe risk, low risk type of way because we have this data. So I think there's a lot of possibilities for, better economic inclusion from that perspective. And then also, as we talked about before, providing customers with better insights about their finances is going to engage them more in their finances. So for folks who are, managing things paycheck to paycheck, saving that $20 bank fee or avoiding an NSF because we're now able to see sort of your cash flow and give you a heads up that, you might want to move money from this account to another in order to avoid that fee is really going to help a broad set of Canadians. So very excited by being able to leverage data in order to engage more Canadians on their finances. We are very involved. So we're very, grateful to be part of the working group discussions that are being led by the open banking lead right now. So we sit on the security working group. As being part of that working group can also attend the steering committees for all the other working groups so that we can have our perspective as a challenger bank in the crafting of the policy for open banking. And we're certainly involved in other forums with other banks, with other fintechs, when it comes to open banking. I think with consumers, we're going to start with our own customers. So very much, we've been, in the news. Our CEO, contributes white papers to the Globe and Mail. We have also sponsored the Open Banking Expo and have a really interesting piece of consumer research that's coming out November 17th at the Toronto Expo, where we really get to understand the pulse of Canadians and how they feel about open banking, what their awareness is, and what they think the potential of it is. So certainly, we're very engaged in that way, and starting to, talk to our own customers to understand, if we had a tool like open banking, what could be some of the things that you would want to see as an EQ Bank customer. So very much, working on both the policy side and trying to understand consumer and customer needs.